my new virtual talk show, Flava with Ava. My name is Ava, and I'm the owner of Whiskey with Flava. We have fun, inspire others to bake, teach baking techniques, and learn together. I'm a new baker, but you will definitely have a good time learning along with me. Each show, we will feature a new special guest. We choose a technique for them to teach us, and we will learn together. You could do along with us. We'll let you know what tools and ingredients you're gonna need. Our special guest today is Stacy Rogers. She owns For the Love of Cake. Stacy is located in Spring, Texas, outside Houston, and I was born in Houston. And Stacy made many of our cakes when we were little. We asked Stacy to show us today how to make fun Easter cupcakes. But first, I have questions for you, Stacy. Question 1. When did you know you wanted to be a baker?
Oh, it wasn't until much later after I had kids and I started making fun cakes for them, and then it just exploded from there. I kept making them for my nieces and nephews and then their friends, and it just went on and on.
Wow. I started when I was 9. That was October 2019. How and when did you get started, and why, your fingers, do you do what you do?
I started when my kids were young, but I've continued, and I do it because I really enjoy being a part of everyone's celebrations. I get to do the things that make people happy, and that makes me happy. So that's my motivation. That's why I do it.
That is awesome. I started when I took out a book from the library, and it was an emoji fondant cake recipes book. I was obsessed with watching baking shows and I was begging my mom to bake one of those emoji cakes from the book. I love baking. It's fun to video and help others. When the coronavirus quarantine is over, I hope to teach kids in shelters to bake and visit places like fire stations, hospitals, and police stations to do baking demos with them too. They are all working so hard right now and saving lives. What types of cakes are your favorite to make?
Oh, the types of cakes I like to make are the ones that don't look like they're cakes, whether it's a purse or a character or a car or anything that makes people go, that's not a cake. Those are my favorite ones. And if they have lights or smoke or anything exciting going on, that's even better.
Wow, that'd be awesome. I love surprise cakes. They're fun to make, and when you cut them, there's such a big surprise waiting for you. Be sure to check out my surprise cakes on Facebook, Instagram, and on my new YouTube channel. What types of techniques do you make the most?
I like to use features that aren't normal, like I like to use a lot of modeling chocolate. Modeling chocolate is a really good medium that you can use to make characters or to make textures that you normally don't see on a cake. Fondant and modeling chocolate are probably my 2 favorite things to work with. I think those are my favorites. I do. I like that because, oh, and I have a secret. In my Rice Krispie treats, I mix in Fruity Pebbles. And they smell delicious. It tastes delicious, and it's amazing. And there's so much you can do with Rice Krispie treats, and I like that a lot because it doesn't weigh as much as cake, and so you can do it you can use it to make thick characters or things that have to be suspended in air, and so they're really flexible for things like that. So Rice Krispie treats, I love to work with those.
Yeah. Are there any tricks you can show me to make fondant figures easier?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to teach you how to use, it's called CNC powder or Tylose powder, and it makes your fondant get harder so that your figure doesn't get all frumpy and droopy. It keeps its shape. So there's a couple of tricks I can teach you.
Sweet! Do you make your own fondant or buy it? If you buy it, what's your favorite kind?
When I have time, I prefer to make my own fondant out of marshmallows. When I just have a lot of orders, I know marshmallows are yum. I use satin ice fondant that is wonderful. And right now, you mentioned the virus that's going on. We're kind of locked down in our homes. I've had to sometimes use just Wilton fondant, and they've changed their recipe, and it actually is better than it used to be. So it tastes pretty good. So Wilton is one that I will use when I just need to grab something quick, and it works just fine.
Well, I tried marshmallow fondant and it was a total disaster. Oh my gosh. If you want to see it on our YouTube channel, search up marshmallow bloopers on Whiskey with Flava. It was so sticky.
Well, if you mess up, you just try again. That's the beauty of it. You just keep trying.
What's your favorite tool?
My favorite tool? I have a few tools here. This is my little tool caddy that I use. And it keeps all my favorite things in it. I think this is made by Innovative Sugar Works, and it has this neat little tip on the end. Here we go. It has this tip on the end that you can use to manipulate and shape all of your fondant that you need to shape, or your modeling chocolate, and just kind of move it in where it needs to go. I love this one. I don't know if you should do this. I use a lot of X-Acto knives. Those are really, really good for cutting things and making, shapes that you need to make, and getting things to the right proportions. You need those. And this little guy is probably the one I use the most. So those are my favorite ones that I use a lot. And so I just keep them handy, keep them right close to me in my little tool caddy, so that they're always right there by me.
I absolutely love our new airbrush compressor. It's so much fun, but it can be really messy. So we make a shield out of cardboard and we take it outside.
That's very smart. I made the mistake of using an airbrush in my house one time, and I was breathing that green for weeks. It doesn't go away. So doing it outside is very smart of you. Very, very smart.
What advice do you have for me and kids wanting to start baking?
My advice would be keep practicing and don't give up. And when you try something and it doesn't work, try it again, and then again, and then again, until you get it right. But don't ever let any process or any tool or any material beat you. You beat it. You keep on until you have mastered it, and don't give up.
That's great advice, Stacy. I think it's time to learn how to make your figures.
Okay, today we're going to learn how to make the Bunny Bum Cupcake. This cute little bunny that's stuck in the grass and just has his bum showing. So we're going to start with some fondant, and with that I've mixed some Tylose or some CMC powder, and that allows it to get a little more stiff and hold its shape and not shrink down and flatten out like fondant can do. So we got some fondant here. We're going to take about this much. We're going to roll it. Roll it in your hand and let the heat of your hand mold it where you want it. You can also roll it on the table. Make sure your table's clean, which mine is, and roll it in a circle until you get the perfect ball that you want, with no wrinkles in it, no creases in it. You just want a perfectly smooth ball. And that's going to be his little bum. So we're going to set that aside. Now we want to tear off a couple of pieces and create his feet, because we have the feet that we want to be showing. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flatten out 2 small balls, about this much. We're going to roll it into a ball, and then roll it in the palm of your hand or on the table, whichever is easiest for you. Roll it into an oval, and then we're going to flatten it. And when we flatten it, that's going to create his little foot. And we're obviously going to need 2 of those. Oh. So same thing, roll it into a ball. Roll it into an oval. Got your oval, about the same size as the other one. And then we're going to flatten it. And now we have, oh, and we want to make it, keep it an oval, keep it the shape of an oval. And we have our 2 little feet, okay? We're gonna take a ball tool, and it has this one has a big end and has a small end, and we're gonna use both of those. So if you'll see on this one, we have, if you see on this one, we have little toes and we have the little pad of his foot. So we're gonna mark where we want those. So on the foot, we're gonna create the ball, which is the pad of the foot on each one of them, and also where we want the toes. So we want 3 toes, and so we're gonna do the middle one, and then we're gonna do one on either side of that. And I start with the middle one just so that they turn out even. You don't have to do that, that's just the way I do it. Okay, so the same one on the other one, the ball of the pad of the foot, and then the toes. Now the other thing that we want to do is we want to create that little tail. And I have dipped his little tail in sprinkles. Ooh, he took a little dive there. No damage though. His tail, it has little sprinkles on it. So what I've done is I'm using the fondant that is mixed with the Tylose because it's going to give it its firm shape. And there's his little tail in proportion with his body. Get his feet out of the way. Okay, and then I have a toothpick. And I use a half of a toothpick for this. And I want the sprinkles on it. So I've got some sprinkles in a little container here, a little cupcake container. And I'm gonna use some gum glue, which is water mixed with Tylose or CMC powder. And you just mix it up, you shake up the container, let it sit for a day, and then it creates this fabulous little glue. You can store it in the refrigerator, but if you leave it out room temperature, it will go bad. So don't do that. I mix mine about every 2 days and I keep it in the refrigerator. So this is a clean container, nail polish container that I got online. It's never been used for nail polish. It is a fresh, clean container. I let my toothpick get a little wet, stick it in my tail, reshape it to a cute little ball, and I'm gonna get it wet with the gum glue. Everything that's wet will stick to the sprinkles. So you wanna make sure you get it all wet. And then I take it and I just dip it lightly in the sprinkles. Make sure you get all the way around so it's completely covered. And there you go. You have a cute little sprinkled fluffy bottom. And you can press them on if you would like and make them stick a little better. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to insert it into his little bum. So we want this kind of at the top. Now look, I have one side that didn't really stick. So all we have to do is go back to our sprinkles, and we might not have to put more water on it. Nope, we are. We're going to put a little more water on it. There we go. And get more sprinkles on there. There you go. Now it's all covered. Okay, and we're going to put this in our little bum. See if it's too long. Oh, that's good. We want that on top. Okay, so there's his little tail. And then we're going to use the pink to create the foot pad and the little toes on his feet. So, and I chose pink just because I wanted to be cute and Eastery. You can choose whatever color you want, but I like pink, obviously. That's my color. So, we're going to use, I use a blade because I'm super, super careful, but you don't have to. You can tear it apart. So, we need 3 little toes for each foot. And usually when I break these off like this, they're too big. I always think that looks like that should work, and it ends up being too big. So I'll make them into little balls and then probably end up cutting them in half. So let me make one. Just roll it around. You can roll it in your fingers. You can roll it in the palm of your hand. Let's see how I did. I'm going to use my glue. I'm going to get the little toes wet. And remember, I put the, use the ball tool on here, and that reminds me where I'm going to put the little toes. So let's take the one that we just rolled, and it falls basically right into the little hole that we created. And there's our first little toe. Okay, and we're going to do that with all 6 of them. Just takes a minute. That's 1. Oh, that's 2. Okay, and you can create each one to have whatever character you want. And if you wanted to have big, giant, floppy feet, they all don't have to look the same. You can create it however you want. You can give them bigger tails if you want a bigger tail on it. As much personality as you want to give these. Now we're going to add the little toes. And the gum glue will really kind of grab it once you have it on the foot. Goodness. So once it's been sitting there and it starts to get sticky, as soon as you put your toe on there, your little pink toe, it should grab it. Okay, now we're going to do the bigger pad of the foot, which is going to be this part right here. And I have a larger ball of pink, and I'm just going to cut that in half. And I'm going to roll those into little balls and then flatten them out and put them on the ball of the foot. Just flatten it out. And I'll flatten that one out. And the foot is already sticky from the water. Is it already sticky from the water? And the foot is going to be sticky from the water. You just put it on there and it should stick right to it. And then put that on there and it sticks right to it. And you're all set. Okay, so now we want to put the feet on the little bum. So we just have to put a little more of our gum glue on here. And you want it damp, but you do not want it dripping wet because then it'll just slide right off. So put it on there, feel it, make sure it's just a little bit tacky, and then you're ready to put your feet on. So I'll put it here and we're going to add our feet. And we're going to add our other little foot. Okay, and we have our little bunny. But now we need to have a cupcake and some grass to put him on. So we're going to set him here. He let him wait, hang out and sit and wait for us.
I like it better because I can make it at home and it's one less thing I have to buy. I really don't like to have to buy all the pre-made products because that gets expensive. And the more money I have to spend, the more money I have to charge my customers. And I don't want to do that. I want everyone to be able to get a cake. So I try to keep it affordable.
Does it set quickly or does it take a long time to dry?
It sticks really quickly. It doesn't dry right away, but it sticks really quickly. Because you can see all of those things that we made are already stuck to the bunny. The sprinkles stuck on top, the toes stuck, everything sticks pretty quickly. Okay? Are you ready to put him on a cupcake? Okay, so.
I have a cupcake, and I covered it in green icing so that if the grass is sparse in any area, you won't see the cupcake. So we have that all done. We have filled a piping bag with green icing. We're using a number 233. We're using the number 233 tip, and that's the grass tip. And we're going to press and pull, and press and pull, and press and pull all the way around and get your fun grass. You can do short grass, you can do long floppy grass, whatever you want to do, completely up to you. And remember, none of them have to be the same. You can go fast if you want and just make them crazy. And whenever it gets too tight or too loose, you can tighten it up. And as tight as your bag is, as long as it's twisted up, it's going to help you with your piping, because then you don't have to squeeze as hard because it's tightened up. Okay, so we have our grass covered cupcake now, and we're going to take our little bunny and we're going to position him right here on our cupcake, kind of bury him in there. And then just to make it a little cuter, we're going to take the grass tip and we're going to just put the icing around his bum so that it looks like he's actually in the grass, just buried in the grass. Okay, and there you have it. Your little Bunny Bum Cupcake.
Aww.
That you made. So have fun, good luck, and I can't wait to see your own little Bunny Bum Cupcake.
It's so cute.
Well, thank you, love.
It's such an honor having you, my first guest, on our very first episode of Flava with Ava.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining Whiskey with Flava. See you later.